Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to make this neon tie-dye inspired nail art design. So as you can see, it's not too crazy looking, not super busy, but with the bright colors and everything going on, I still feel like it's very much in your face. So I hope you guys like those kind of sets. You'll know I love crazy busy sets, so this one's completely up my alley, and I really wanted to try out the tie-dye looking pattern again. I have done a video in the past, but it feels like a very long time ago, and I cannot even remember what I've done for it. So I tried to incorporate a couple of different random things into today's design to make it. So we've got a purple from Born Pretty. Actually, this one, I haven't used any Born Pretty gel polishes in a very long time, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. It's just I've got so many different shades of Madam Glam that they just offer everything that I need. So I always find myself being drawn to them more than anything else. But also, even with the quality of the product, Madam Glam is always just a little bit better. Even now when you're applying the orange next to the purple, the orange is so much more pigmented and it just feels so much more creamier and everything like that. So I just always find myself being drawn, but the Born Pretty ones there's just absolutely nothing wrong with them. And I was looking for a very specific purple, like a neon-y looking one, and I don't actually have one other than from Born Pretty. So here we are today. We've got a bit of a mix of different companies going on. So we've got an orange, I think it was Orange Poppy or something like that it was called. We've got Food Coma, which is my all-time favourite nude from Madam Glam. And we also have a green, but I can't remember what it's called, but I did show everything right at the start of the video. We've got two nails that are going to be fully nude, one nail that's orange, one nail that's purple, and then on the fifth nail, we're going to do a three-way ombre, which, oh boy, was that a little bit of a challenge because each colour is so drastically different to one another, and those are always the hardest ones to ombre. But it just takes some time, basically, and patience. Just patience and not freaking out when it's starting to look not too great, really. For today's ombre, we are actually going to sugar the nails, so you don't have to have the ombre too perfect because the glitter is actually just going to mute it down a little bit and not make it so visible. So don't worry too much. I'm pretty sure I just left it about there. Wasn't too crazy. I did do another layer off camera, so the nails in the background right now have two layers, and before popping them into the lamp, I am going to just sprinkle on some of the glitter I've got here. I haven't got too much left of it, actually. It's one of my most used glitters. If you're new in the nail world and you don't want to, you don't have the money to splurge on every single glitter out there, I highly recommend getting this one. I personally find myself having the most use out of all my glitters, and it's that one. So highly recommend it. And for our little flowers today, for once I decided to actually take out my stickers. I have so many stickers. I once went absolutely wild on Shein and I got a bunch of stickers, and they're great, but for some reason, for content creation and creating designs, I just cannot seem to use them. I just can't seem to create designs and everything with them. And I set myself a little challenge today. There's a lot of things that I've actually included in today's design that I wouldn't usually. I just don't find myself always drawn to these things, and I really tried to put them all together and create something. So I placed down one sticker down first, so it's just an outline of a flower with a little stem thing going on. And then on top of the stem part, I'm going to place another flower, which I'm currently searching for, I think, now that I'm off camera. And that flower has actually a white background to it, so I really liked it. I thought it was kind of creates a really cool looking flower when you combine the two together. So that's what we're going to do. Alternatively, if you don't have, of course you don't also have to use these exact flowers. Any flowers in your collection can do. Or if they don't work with the colours I'm using today, just switch out the colours. Like, I'm hoping that my designs are easy to follow in a sense that you can just switch them out for what you've got in your collection and hopefully still be able to pretty much recreate it, but with your own little spin on it with the products that you've got at home. So now at this stage, I thought it would be really cool to create like a little border around it, almost like frame the flowers in there. But rather than doing a boring, just a square or something, I decided to do like a squiggly outline around the flowers. This is what we're doing right now. I'm just outlining my little squiggle. Once the squiggle is completed, everything on the outside I'm going to colour in green. So we're only going to have the orange in the centre where the flowers are. Everything around is going to be that neon green. So I take my time and I'm trying to be very careful around the little squiggly lines. I was quite satisfied with those squiggly lines actually, so didn't want to ruin them. And then on the, once I basically complete the inner bit, I then just grab the brush from the bottle and I just finish it off. It just makes it so much more quicker to do the rest, and that way I can be obviously a bit more gentle and precise around where I've just done my outline. So I'm just colouring that in. As you can see, obviously we've got a very bright colour underneath, so I need to do another layer of the green, which is done here. Now that that's out, I am using some black gel polish. This one's from Neo Nails actually, and I'm just going to outline this squiggly line that I created just to give it that border, and it just kind of separates the two colours. I always find myself wanting to create like another colour where there's two colours meeting. I just find that adding an extra colour, it doesn't have to be black, any colour really, to just give it that outline and separate the two colours from one another, always just, I don't know, makes the design look way better in my opinion. So I often just pick up black or white. It's just, you know, a standard colour to pick up, and it always seems to work with designs. So today I went for black, although I could also pick up white just because I do have that white in the flower. But because I'm using such bright colours, I wanted to do black to actually make it stand out more. So once that's done, I am now working on my two nude nails here. So using the black, I'm very, very gently and patiently I'm trying to draw out my smile line, and I'm trying to be as careful as I can because this is only a little sketch that I'm going to have to cure. So I'm trying to make it doesn't have to be too crazy perfect, but as best as you possibly can. It will go into the lamp, and that'll be our outline for our French tip tie-dye look. So here I was happy with it, popped it into the lamp. Now it's time for the tie-dye pattern. This bit took me some time. I sped up the footage and I tried to do all sorts. In a minute you might see me actually pop the two nails on a stand, and I tried to do the marble on the stand, like picking up the stand and doing, not marble, sorry, the tie-dye, the lines that I'm doing. But it's just uncomfortable. So in the end, I just had to pick each one by one and place it down, annoyingly. So it was a bit uncomfortable, but it's mainly because of filming. I just wanted to be a bit quicker and efficient in a way. And unfortunately, this design just did not allow for that. So I couldn't be. So in between each colour, I am wiping off my brush. And then I'm adding another line. So you want to pick your order. I went for purple, orange, green, and so on. But if, you know, whatever colours you're using, you can switch it around, do whatever order you want it to be. And as you can see, I'm not doing crazy thin lines either. I'm actually doing pretty thick ones. And that way, I have to kind of blend all of them into one another to create that tie-dye look. So having a thicker line actually makes it much more easier and avoids the colours next to each other blending into each other too much and then not showing the colours, and then, you know, just ends up looking a bit like a mess. So you see in a moment when I get to actually the tie-dye pattern look, where you kind of have to smudge the gel polish into one another. So having it a bit thicker makes it it makes the colour kind of be seen more, because otherwise you might end up blending all of them together, if that makes sense, and then you might end up with a brown or something. I always find that when I blend colours, I always end up with a brown, I swear to God. So here I'm just doing the little sides again. And then once I'm happy, we will be able to do the little lines, will be in a second. In between each colour, I'm getting a lint-free wipe and some nail prep cleaner from Miley. I love that stuff, guys. I've literally never tried a different company because I just love mine. It's on Amazon, and it just works really, really well. Cleans my brushes, cleans anything I make a mess with. Love it. So I am wiping away just so I don't kind of contaminate. There are little moments here and there where I do it by accident, but again, we're smudging them into one another in a second. It's not a big deal at this stage. You can also see why I needed the French tip outline already done. So once the tie-dye is done, off camera, once it's cured, I'll go again over the black to thicken up the line and then, you know, neaten it up basically, and then we can crack on with the rest. But here I'm just finishing up with the lines finally. As you can see, it takes a little bit of time, There we go. Okay, time to clean my brush and time for our lines. So I start off with the middle, but I don't know if it's very necessary. You can start wherever you want, but very slowly I'm kind of smudging them into one another. Once I do the first line, I then do the other lines in the opposite direction. So I start from the bottom, and then on the other line I start from the top, and so on. I just switch it around. And this is the pattern that it creates. It's so cool, it's so funky. And actually, now that I'm watching this video, do you guys feel like it's kind of given Halloween colours? I feel like I picked up super Halloween-y, bright orange, green colours. I feel like this would be such a cool Halloween maybe design. If you switch a couple of things up, it could be a cool Halloween. Maybe I could recreate it for Halloween, but make it more scary or something. So I'm of course repeating it on the other nail too. And then again, remember, off camera I do go over the black again. I just didn't include it. It's just, I don't actually know why, but it's not included. But I do that just in case you're shocked how come it came about. I've already wiped my nails. Every time I place a sticker down, I wipe away all that tacky layer, because I find that the sticker kind of lifts as I'm applying top coats and stuff, and when I remove the tacky layer, it sticks on really, really well and doesn't move or budge or do anything if I'm still trying to do some extra work on the nails. So I always make sure to do that. In the past, I've placed stickers down on a tacky layer, and as I'm top coating, the sticker's starting to lift, and it's just, I've had issues, a lot of issues. So my way is to just wipe off the tacky layer, and the sticker does not lift at all. Not at all. So with the flowers, I'm picking up the ones that have like a white background, and I'm placing it on the corner of the French tip nail on the smile line part. And now it's time to matte top coat these beauties. So I'm using my Madam Glam velvet matte top coat. I'm just going to top coat all 4 of them. That will go into the lamp, and then we've got some charming crystals to do, some little, and also some white outlines and detailing to do, and we also are going to do a little trick on the stickers, but I'll get to that in a moment. And then you can also let me know what you think of it. Was it even worth it? I don't even know. But at this stage, I'm using my Madam Glam white gel paint, I think they're called. So they cure tack free, they're amazing for artwork, they're super pigmented, and they're just great if you actually want to get into like nail art, like actually drawing stuff on nails and stuff, because if you use regular gel polish, sometimes it's a bit too sheer, and this one is just perfect. You won't need to go over any bits and bobs because of gel polish being sheer or anything. It's really, really great. So if you're wanting to do stuff like this, it also cures tack free on a matte top coat, which is cool. So if you wanted to grab some, I'd recommend white and black. You'll find the most uses out of them. But of course, if you're into actual nail art and you do a lot of hand paintings and stuff on nails, then every color will be your best friend. So I'm doing these little dots. So I'm following the smile line, as you saw, and now on this squiggly framed flower nail, I'm doing the same thing, but just following the squiggly line that we've created. Off camera, I will again do those dots on the other French tip nail. I just didn't include it because again, it's just repetitive and it's the same old thing that we're gonna do. So I'm doing those lines, not lines, dots. Feels like I can't talk today. Just doing some dots, and I've picked up the smallest dotting tool I could find. I just felt like I needed something tiny, nothing too crazy big, because I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to be a bit more delicate with today's design. I don't know what I was feeling. Maybe I wasn't feeling it at all. And with what I chuck on later, I didn't really know if it fully matches with everything. But again, you can tell me in the comments what you think. It's a bit different, I feel like, to what I've been doing recently. So just finishing up the dots. Make sure you pop it into the lamp for a full cure, otherwise it will not cure at all. They require like a full-on whatever. I think it's 60 seconds I think it needs. Okay, so I am also going to do a couple of little stars. So 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. I've picked up a slightly larger dotting tool, placed 2 dots at the top, 2 dots at the bottom, and then in my nail art liner, I'm just going to draw out some lines from it to create that cute little star, just a little touch here and there, you know. If you don't want to do these stars, you can always maybe replace them with some crystals or more stickers or stamping, whatever you've got. Same with the flowers. If you don't have any stickers, you can stamp some flowers down if you wanted to, or even replace them with a different kind of sticker. It doesn't have to be a flower, it could be anything that you've got. So that's cool. Once that's done, that will go into the lamp. That is the last part of our white details that we're gonna chuck on there. The next stage is the top coat part, funny enough. So I thought, which again, you can let me know in the comments what you think of this, but I thought it would be cool to apply some glossy top coat only on the flower part. So when I'm kind of like holding the nail, here and there you can see that the flower is kind of 3D looking glossy and everything else is matte. I don't know how I feel about it. It's not crazy noticeable, which then makes me feel like, was it even worth it? I don't know. I've done that sometimes with my stamping. So let's say the background is all matte and everything, and if I stamped a character on top, I'll then glossy top coat just the character. Everything else in the background is matte, and it seems to make the character stand out more. But then on today's design, it kind of feels like the flowers that didn't really stand out that much more. So I don't know how I feel about this. So let me know in the comments, especially in the final like shots, if you can let me know if you can actually see a difference and if you like it, or if I should just never do that again. So once I'm happy, of course, that'll go into the lab. Final stages now, we're just doing some little charms and crystals. So I've got these little white roses that I've been wanting to use for so long, but I just haven't been able to figure out where to chuck them and what kind of design. So since today was a bit all over the place, it's got all sorts of random things on the nails, I thought, you know what? Today's the day. Today's the day we are placing them down, so they are down. On the French tip nails, I'm placing the white rose, followed by just 2 AB crystals at the bottom. That goes into the lamp, and then last but not least, we've got the 4 purple nail that's got nothing going on. That is going to be our mainly charmy nail, really. There's big old charms on this. So I'm starting off with a big AB crystal right at the top. Then I'm going to follow down with a white rose, which is larger than the other 2 roses that I've placed on the French tip. Followed by the huge white bow that I've got. Followed by like this shaped AB, and then a couple of round AB crystals. And then off that goes into the lamp. If you wanted to, place some caviar beads, or don't, whatever floats your boat. I was going to, the original prototype had it. But as I was doing it, I kind of didn't want to put it there anymore. So I didn't. So if you wanted to see the caviar bead, then watch the beginning of the video. But otherwise, here are the final results. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I would love to see you all in my next video. Bye guys.